So. It is to bring all seeking to now. There is nothing more profound than now. Now is everything that is being sought. Right now, this moment, the fullness of the being that you are in truth, here now. So much seeking, so much searching, so many opinions, comparisons. Is this better? Is this better? Nothing better than now, only now, where there are no opinions, no better, no worse, no comparisons, no levels, no layers, only now. Wordless, inexplicable, pristine presence that is just here now. Nothing more profound, nothing more beautiful, nothing more divine. When you come to now, when you come to the presence of now, your absence is the fullness of presence. The absence of the me is the fullness of presence. And only in the absence of the me can the fullness of your presence be known as your essence, as the source of all, as the immaculate one being that has never ever been touched by the play of the world. That you are not the story, you are not the drama, you are not anything that has ever happened to you. You have only ever been pristine. And the great longing of every heart is to know this without question, to come to freedom, to come to the fullness of your perfect immaculate self. To come to divinity is to know your wholeness. We are not speaking in concepts. We are not speaking in mind ideas about what divinity is, what truth is. We're not speaking about what is read in books. We are speaking about now, only now, this moment here now. This moment is everything. You are everything, and yet you are no thing. It is to come to emptiness, to come to utter emptiness and know who you are is pure knowledge. It is true knowledge. It is the only knowledge that is necessary in ways that the mind cannot possibly understand, because the mind is so conditioned to hang on to information, to want to climb, to want to understand, to want to be better, to want to be the best, right? Give up, give it up, give up wanting to be the best and just be here now. Be here now and find out there is nothing better than the truth of who you are. There is nothing more holy, nothing more sacred, nothing more profound. When you know the truth of who you are and you are resting in being, every move that is made in the daily life is reverent worship of yourself. Every move is a holy moment. Every movement is a prostration to yourself. When you know this truth of who you are and your sincere and honest, courageous commitment is to be the living union with your true nature, to live this union, to give up the seeking, to be here now so fully. Surrender the seeker, surrender the surrenderer, Surrender the one that is in a practice, in a journey. Surrender that one into this moment so fully that you just are. There is nothing between you and yourself. There is not a single breath. There is no bridge. There is no journey, no path. There is nothing, nothing between you and yourself. It is to be here so fully that you can feel that truth as the resonant radiance of your heart. All of the mental concerns, they do not matter. You do not have to put everything in place, get your life organized, ready for your big awakening. No, you are missing the point entirely. It's not about you. It's about living as the awake field of being. The me will never be ready. The me will never be ready because the me inherently is a conditioned set of orders that are committed to not ever being ready, not ever being enough, not ever being worthy, always having something missing. This is the human condition. And if you are looking to find fulfillment through the human condition, you will constantly, constantly be disappointed. But at some point, the grace is that that disappointment will bring you so deep down into the bowels of your own presence that you will have nowhere else to turn but into yourself. And that is the glory, that when you are completely humbled to the ground, where you feel so full of all of those conditioned ideas of unworthiness, unlovableness, why me, what do I need to do? You come to a sense of presence that is so quiet, so still, so free, and you have been carried by Kali Ma into the bowels of your shadow in order to rest, to stop looking, stop seeking, stop trying to be the best, stop trying to win the game of life. Surrender into this moment, be yourself, and be free. Be free. This moment is so holy, so sacred, so profound that the mind cannot even imagine. That a trillion gazillion times a day, the mind overlooks the profundity, the holiness of this moment. It is to be the living surrender of this moment into itself, to recognize what is right here, to see with clear vision what is right here. Even just a little sip, even just a little taste of your own holiness is enough to keep you mesmerized, compelled by your own presence, and start to recognize that everything that the mind thinks is important is utterly irrelevant. Your whole life, your whole story, it has no meaning, it has no relevance. You are not living until you are yourself. You are not living truly as freedom until you are yourself. You are a shadow of your true being. And the great longing of every heart is to live as the light, the exuberant light, the joy, the grace of your true nature. That to live a quality of shadow nature it's the human condition, and it will always feel like something is missing, that there is not enough. What do I need? Why am I not enough? Why, despite all of my efforts, am I not succeeding? because you're trying to win at a game that you are set up to fail. Yes, it's true. You're trying to win a game that you are set up to fail. And so each failure, each disappointment, each crash to your knees is grace. It's love. It doesn't feel like that to the me as you pick yourself up out of the dust. But just rest a while in the dust. Rest a while in the humility of the dust. Do not try to put yourself back together. Be broken open, be broken into 1,000,000 trillion pieces, and find the silent quietude, the solitude, the profundity of what is here underneath the great charade that is called life. Find out what is truly here underneath the imaginings, the dream. Find out what is here. Find out the holiness. Find out the sacredness. Find out the being that you are. That there truly is not a breath, not a moment, not a bridge, not an idea. There is nothing here that is keeping you from your true nature. But your mind that is concerned with living in a past, trying to make things better, trying to heal the past. You do not need to heal the past. You just need to see how being addicted to the past and trying to heal it is the obscuration of karma that keeps you from yourself. You do not need to heal the past. You just need to be yourself. All ideas of past and future dissolve into presence, into true presence, not a mental idea of presence. All ideas of past and future are just thoughts in the felt sense of being here now. And the glory is you can check this, check it out for yourself. Nothing to believe here, in the felt sense of being here now, the felt sense of your own presence. Confirm that there is no past, there is no presence. You will move quickly, and the mind that wants to be right will say, oh, well, actually, there is a past here. You're not here if you are thinking that. Feel yourself here now. Be here now. Be here now so fully. Feel the simplicity of your own existence. Just simply being. The glory is that when the mind comes in, you get to watch, you get to be aware of how quick you are, how addicted is that habit to go to the mind, to follow the mind, to follow the concepts. Just watch it with openness, watch it with honesty. Do not bring judgment and opinion of your mind and your habits in. There is no point to that. It's another delusional distraction. It's another waste of time. It's another way of not fully being here. Be here, and be aware. Be aware so honestly, so openly. See so clearly how quickly you go to the concepts, how easy it is to want to be right, how easy it is to want to hold a position. Have the courage to see your habits. Have the courage to see yourself, to not project it anywhere, not even into a single thought. Be here so fully. Meet yourself so fully. Meet all that you are, the beauty, the ugly, the gritty, the joy, the pleasure, the pain. Meet it all here now. Meet it all here now. Surrender all ideas. Surrender all habits to protect. Surrender all the ways that you want to be right as a me. All the ways that you are aspiring to be the best. Secretly, it's what everyone is doing. Everyone thinks that their way is the best way. Pride. It's pride. It's secret pride. Surrender your pride right now. Know nothing. Be here. Be here so fully between the best and the worst. Between more and less. You do not need to big it up. You do not need to small it down. Just be here between every single opposite, every single play of duality. Just be here and watch it, see it. See how compelling it is to rise up to the superior ego, flatten yourself right down to the inferior ego, right? But do not carry yourself into these games any longer. Be here now. See it. See how it works. Take off your mask. Take off the mask of even the spiritual ego that is hanging on to experience, hanging on to having had an awakening. Forget it right now. You are only as awake as you are right now. You are not an awake person. You are not an awake one that has had an experience or many experiences. Give it all up. Surrender it all into the now. This is true devotion. This is true humility. Surrender everything that you think that you are, that you thought that you were, and everything you long to be. Surrender it right into this moment. Fold it all in. Give it all to now. In utter devotion, in utter surrender. Give it all to now. Now is God. Now is love. Now is freedom. Give it all up. Give it all up to know yourself. Can only be the living awakeness that is fresh, right? It's like some food that you cooked yesterday and you keep it in the fridge. You get it out today, it tastes okay, but it's got no prana. It's got no life to it. It's old, it's stale, just like all of those old awakenings, just like all of those concepts and things you've read in books. It's stale. Give it all up. Give it all up and allow the freshness of your true nature that's awake and alive, reality here now. Allow this true aliveness of the self that is vibrant and resonating at a frequency that is so fine and pure that you cannot bottle it. You cannot keep it in the fridge and bring it out tomorrow. You cannot put it on a business card and try to trade off of a past experience. Give it all up. Give it all up and just be yourself. Relax. Let it all go. Just be yourself. Be yourself here now, and you will find that there is nothing more profound. There is nothing better, nothing holier, nothing higher, nothing lower, nothing greater, nothing more divine than the truth of who you are. Give up all ideas of what this is. You are not climbing a ladder. You are not rising Kundalini. Give it all up. It's all concepts. Truly, it's all concept. There is only the self. Everything on the way to this that you gather as concept and you hang on to try to position yourself. You try to find, where am I in this mandala of awakening? Do not find where you are in the mandala. Be the living mandala. Be the living freshness that is the mandala of life, that is creation alive in this moment, experiencing itself. It never gets old. It never gets stale. It's not, oh yeah, I've heard that before. She's saying stuff that I already know. Yawn, yawn, yawn. No, it's not like that. You're holding a position. Yes, yes, I'm saying the same thing every single time we meet. I'm speaking the same thing. I'm speaking the same thing until you explode in the glory of what is being spoken, until you are so fully here now that you are just exploding. You are not wondering about this and wondering about that. You're not thinking about what you're going to have for lunch. You're not wondering about anything. You're just here exploding in the exuberant gorgeousness that is the true nature, the one true nature, where you are right here. We could say with me, as me, where there is only one gorgeous, gorgeous, shining light. It's not the better or the best. No one's here or there. No one's journeyed further. It's just to be here now as the being that is being so alive, being so fully here that you recognize, ping, this is awakeness. This is what she's speaking about. This is what she's been speaking about for all of these years, right? It doesn't matter about all of those years. Let it all go, because right now it's as fresh as it's ever been. It hasn't been sitting in the fridge. We don't get it out every time it's satsang. Wind it up, crank along the old tunes. We're not just cranking out the old stuff, the same old story. Not at all. Not at all. The mind might think that. The mind might think, goodness me, has she got nothing new to say? This is new. This is fresh. This is so vibrantly alive. It is the heart exploding in the glory of itself. And when you feel the resonance of this glory, you are resting here in the oneness, in the love, in the beauty. There's nothing better. There's nothing holier. There's nowhere else to be but here, now. It's just to feel the resonance. Do not believe a single thing I say. It could be utter nonsense. Find out for yourself. Test it by checking in. Feel the resonance. Confirm in your direct experience. When you find the truth to be alive and you feel the resonance, yay! Join the party. Join the party. It's so fun here. It's so fun. It's always fresh. It's always a surprise. It's always joyful and happy. Be yourself. Just be yourself. You know, it's the same to be yourself when life comes in and knocks you sideways and knocks you to your knees and you are in tears and you feel flattened and tear-stained. You can be yourself here too. I can assure you. There have been many, many hours in the life spent in that particular prostration, right? It's the glory. It feels hard, but you come to find that there is nothing more beautiful than being humbled, finding yourself back on the carpet, on your knees, feeling like you cannot take another breath. Will you even wake up in the morning? You do not know, but then the sun rises again, and here you are, living the glory, and the love that you are has never been touched, and the disappointment that you were feeling, are feeling even, it does not touch the truth of who you are. There is a power and a profundity that is true strength, it's true power, it's true love. And every time we are humbled, we come to recognize the part that is never touched. However many times we are bowled over by life and we are crushed to the ground. As we are crushed to the ground, we are coming to know the clear, profound being that we are. To be honest, do not think it is actually possible to come to live this truth to the depth of what is possible until the humanness, let's say the human condition, has been utterly crushed. Being crushed feels hard, it feels horrible, it feels terrible. Of course, we don't want to feel that, but we actually come to a place where we do want to feel that. And some of you are really recognizing it. Bring it on, God. Crush me. Crush the bones of my delusion. Crush the bones. have it all just splayed out on the floor. Crush me. Crush me into the dust of emptiness. Crush me until there is no more me and you, and only the aliveness of the presence of being, right? You come to a place where the humility grounds in, and there's a welcoming of what life brings forward, because there's a knowing that this is carrying you deeper, that life is carrying you deeper. We're not here to solve it. We're not here to be better than it, bigger than it. We're not here to take our power back. We're here just to not be touched by the play of experience, because the direct experience of knowing yourself is so deep and rooted and profound that the play of experience cannot touch you. This is dispassion. This is the true nature. To be in utter union with yourself. We could say this is living yoga, as we say in the West. It's living yoga to be resting in the self, right? Yoga isn't standing on your head. No, yoga is to be living this truth, be living in union with the presence, the wisdom that is your true nature, to be the living being. You are living yoga, you are that which is. Stand on your head as well. It's fun, it's gorgeous, it takes care of energies and keeps the body as a temple. It's useful, it's beneficial, it keeps the body strong. Nothing wrong with it, but there's so much more, so much more. When you are the living of this, you know what it truly is. You recognize the truth that you are. Everything that we could say you have learned, you start to be and recognize that everything that you have learned has been the living mandala, and you are the living mandala. You're not the teaching that you learned that you're holding on to. You are the living moment of that. You are the aliveness of it. You're the timelessness, right? Of really what a true teaching is. It's timeless. You are sage. You are sage and you are saint, right? You are the living Ved. You are the living reverberations of that which is, the wisdom, the divine wisdom that is. So it is to be yourself so fully. Be here now. Feel yourself here now, the being that just is. There's nothing that's needed for you to be yourself, but to be here as yourself. Here you are love without condition. You are joy happiness with no cause. You are the undisturbable peace. You are everything that you have longed for. You are the longing and the fulfillment. You are the flow of perpetual devotion. You are the flow of surrender. You are divinity, more divine and light and radiant than you could ever imagine. But you can know this through being it. You can know this truth through being this truth. So as these words come, it is just to feel the resonance. Just to feel the resonance. Feel the aliveness. Feel that it brings you alive. What does it bring alive? It's not bringing the mind alive. It's bringing the self alive. Let's say it's enlivening the field, right? It's enlivening the field that is the one field of being. It's enlivening the stillness. It's enlivening the silence, the presence. So as the field gets enlivened, because you are it, you feel it. So come only to the resonance of where you feel one with what is being spoken. Do not try to work out how it is you. How is this the self? Do I get it? Do I not get it? Am I in? Am I out? Is what she's saying resonating? No, it's not there. It's not in the mind. It's deeper. Come to the felt sense of being. Feel yourself here. Feel your simple existence. And then feel the resonance. If you feel an aliveness, an enlivened sense of your own presence, be with this. If you feel an enlivened sense of your longing, be with this. Wherever you feel this aliveness, however you feel it, wherever you feel the resonance of the knowing, be with it. This is where you are. We could also say, for the jnanis amongst us, that like the jnani flavor, more than the bhakti flavor this morning, what we could say is, feel the awareness. Feel where awareness is. Where awareness is, aware being, here you are, right? It's all the same. It's all the same. And let us say that bhakti and jnani, they're not preferences for the me to have. They're just resonant flavors. Two sides, one coin. Two sides, one flowing purity of knowledge. The knowing and the surrender into the knowing. The surrender in, the devotion in, the prostration in. The collapsing in, the feeling of wanting to fall in all the way, fall to the floor, bowing to yourself. The feeling of that flow, that surrender, that feeling of take me, I'm yours. And then the feeling of stillness, silence, unmovable, unshakable. The glory, the light, the profundity. Start to feel maybe one flavor, one resonance more strongly than the other. You might feel both resonances. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. We're not trying to profile you. We're definitely not trying to profile you. Let go of your profile. Let go and just be here. Come to the resonance. Come to the resonance. Feel the wind of grace. Feel the wind of grace in the openness, in the spaciousness of just being here. The openness that is your true nature. It's the feeling of opening all the doors and windows. And maybe that breeze will come through. Ananda Mayima said something very beautiful like that. You open everything up. You open everything up. And then the breeze comes in. It doesn't matter whether you are in devotion or whether you are sitting in a depth of stillness that feels like a thick, thick, golden soup. Does not matter when the breeze comes in. Oh, everything is alive. The breeze comes in because it's the resonance of your true nature. It feels fresh. It feels nourishing. It feels gorgeous. Is it outside? Is it inside? The breeze comes in and it fills you. It feels like the breath of life. It is the breath of life, and you are the breath of life. So you are being carried. You are being carried by this gorgeous breeze into yourself. You are not worrying about what you are, where you are. You're definitely not holding any position. You are just flowing and flowing wherever that gorgeous breeze is carrying you. You just feel the beauty of being carried. You just feel the beauty. Yes, silence is here. It's thick and rich and unmovable, immovable. It's the peace, the undisturbable peace. It's the awareness, the stillness. And yet the stillness, as the stillness knows stillness, the stillness that you are, the presence that you are, you can't help noticing it's wildly alive. It's pinging, it's tingling, it's glimmering, it's shimmering, it's alive, it's twinkling. It's so alive, it's so alive. Is it inside you? Is it outside? Is it here? Is it everywhere? Is it nowhere? Is it what you are? How do you know it? You can't work it out, but my goodness, it's so alive. It's so alive. It's so alive. And yet it's so still. It's so still. Peace, joy, peace, happiness, immaculate, pristine stillness, wild, exuberant aliveness. It's all here. It's all here. It's all here. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful. It's in awe of itself. It's in total wonderment. It's in surrender. It loves itself. It is creation. It's creation. It's like a fireworks show. It's creation, and it's exploding in order to experience itself. It's creation. It's creation experiencing itself, and it's alive. It's alive. It's creating itself here now, exploding here now. Out of the silence explodes creation and surrenders in this moment too back into the silence, just like fireworks. Gone, gone, here now, gone, here now. It's just the nowness of this moment. It's the Shiva, the stillness, the Brahma, the creation, and the Vishnu, the flow, the flow, the flow. The surrender, the surrender. Sat, Chit, Anand. Akhand, Sat, Chit, Anand. The wholeness, the undividedness, the indivisible. Sat, Chit, Anand. The indivisible moment. That you're not Sat or Chit or Anand. You're not this or that. You're the indivisible moment. You're the fullness, the richness, that which is completely indivisible. And yes, in that you are life itself. You are all of your life, but you are not someone living my life, trying to win the game of life. There is such a difference that comes from the shift in perspective. So the invitation is to be available for the perspective to shift. Because if you are trying to conceptualize, you are distracting and holding yourself. Yes, the play of duality is part of the oneness, but you cannot know yourself by staying holding a position, right? Cannot know yourself by holding any position. So this moment here now, the glory is the invitation that welcomes you to this moment, welcomes you to the now, welcomes you to the holiness, the sacredness, the profundity, the most incredible grace that you are. Here now, this moment, here now. Do not be someone, something. Do not be anything. Just be yourself. When you are yourself, you are here in the oneness that just is. Everything else takes care of itself. You will fall in as deeply to the knowing as has been recognized. Yes, there are incredible profundities within the golden landscape of consciousness, but you do not need to know this with your mind. You are carried in, let's say, in consciousness into finer and finer values of yourself. But right now, the divinity that you are is here shining. And right here now, the most profound thing is that, let us say that you travel, okay, let's imagine for a moment, you travel from being a separate one through the landscape of consciousness, refined, and you come to the most purest value of divinity, Mother, right? You come to the purest. The mind interprets that as a journey, as something that it wants to get, because you want to be the best. Yeah, you want to be the best. So you want to go all the way. You want to go all the way, right? But then you get so distracted because you want to go all the way that you haven't even taken your baby steps yet, right? You want to run before you can walk. So you get stuck in the concepts. You get stuck in the concepts because you're so concerned with being the best. I want to go all the way. I'm going to imagine it. I'm going to try somehow to be the best. I'm going to be the most divine one, right? It's what we do. It's what happens. So what I'm going to tell you now is going to solve that problem. It's fantastic, right? The most divine possibility. When you come to the most divine possibility. Oh, okay. So we have to make a correction. We're not saying here that I'm the most divine possibility. Let's just clear that possibility out. But when you come to divinity, everything that you think you want, that the mind wants in order to be the best, what you come to realize, you always were that. It was right here in the very beginning. The most profound part of realization, like the realization, is recognizing that is all there is. It's all that ever was. And life is more normal in certain ways than it ever was. So as these words come, the divinity that you are, the most profound divinity, God, Mother, you are that, right? Not someone that is that. So this is why we speak about the resonance and the knowing, because you already are it. And where you can feel the value of it that you are is where you feel the resonance. You cannot fast track yourself. You cannot fast track. You cannot skip. You have to be refined and transformed and purified and humbled. You have to be. You cannot escape that part, right? Let us say the great wisdom says, the great wisdom says that however deeply you are resting, so through awakening and opening and opening and opening, the mind can be completely absorbed in the self, in a quality of resting. But while there are vasanas and things that are pulling you, those are still areas that are being worked, being refined. At a certain point, suddenly everything explodes and you recognize the complete and utter oneness, Brahman, God. It's the nothingness. It's, you recognize that utter oneness. And in that you can see the divinity that has been here all along. So we're not going to get finicky about all of these other little bits and pieces that are in there, in the great pot, We're not going to be finicky about it, but it's just to know that the most extraordinary, the best, everything that you want to be and that you're aspiring to be, the only reason you are aspiring to that is because you are it already, but you can only know that through being it. So this is the invitation that is constantly being offered. It's to taste where you feel the resonance, where you feel the knowing, where the knowing is, where there's not someone knowing, not someone holding on, where you feel that. Only through feeling the resonance do you deepen in to the truth of who you are. Do you come to the most profound values of yourself, right? So let us say, according to what is recognized and being expressed here, this is the truth that is coming forward. We're not going to speak about anything that's outside of this that's here right now. This is what is relevant right now, because we have to make it relevant, because the relevance is this that we're speaking of, making all knowledge simple, bringing all knowledge to simplicity. You see, the mind likes the complexity. The mind likes all knowledge. The mind likes all of that. Gather more, gather more, gather more. But it's only ever about the resonance. So even if there's a pull to gather, right? As you gather, recognize that it's only the resonance that you're feeling of recognition. Come to an ability to recognize the difference between the mind gathering more knowledge, the mental capacity being filled up, and the resonance. So when you read a text, be with the resonance. When you feel the resonance and the enlivenment of the resonance, be with that. Let the resonance carry you deeper. Come to recognize the difference, because only when you are being yourself, only through being yourself, only through being here, can you know the truth of who you are. This is the relevance. This is the relevance. There's no point speaking about what's not relevant here, because the mind will conceptualize it, right? What gets spoken here is according to the consciousness. So the consciousness that is here speaking to itself, right? This is what is spoken here, is the consciousness, the heart speaking to itself, the self speaking to itself in order to bring this remembering. So remember, Remember, do not be distracted by the mind's ideas. Illuminate the way that there is one that wants to be the best, to get there. What we could say that is actually an aspect. It's an aspect of nature that is very dominant in the world. It's a masculine quality. It's a Shiva aspect, which is very dominant in the world. But you cannot get there. You cannot come to know this truth through playing out these dominant areas that are overarching in the play of the world, in the collective right now. You cannot come to know yourself by playing out this willfulness, this wanting to be the best. You cannot come to know yourself without, let's say, bringing forward your softness, your receptivity, your openness. We could say that is a kind of a feminine aspect. You have to bring this into complete balance in order for the integral whole to be known. We could call it the Shiva and the Shakti, the masculine and the feminine, but it's got nothing to do with being a male or a female. It's much, much finer than that. But you have to bring forward a balance to your conditioned way, your willful way. You cannot come to know yourself through will. You have to come in through balancing the openness, the softness, the receptivity, a letting go, the surrender, right? Everything has to come into balance. It's where there's balance that there's a possibility for clear seeing to happen. Whenever there's a moment of balance, if there's a holding on to anything, holding a position, holding anything more strongly, it will create an imbalance in the moment, a holding of a position in the moment. But everything has to come into this felt sense of now, right? It's always the now, the moment, the balance, no position, no concept, no ideas, right? So don't go and Google after this feminine and masculine, Shiva, Shakti, finding balance. Don't bother. There's no point. It's just more fodder for the mind. It's interesting, it's entertaining, but this truth is not about being entertained. It's not about being entertained. It's about being awake and alive here now. Okay? Again, notice the difference. Notice the difference where spiritual ego is being entertained with information. Notice where spiritual ego, it likes that. It likes to accumulate knowledge. Only allow that resonance to get deepened. Only allow the resonance to come alive and be here now as the awake field. The awake field is wordless. It's silent. It's still. It's being. It's wildly alive with its own knowing. It's wildly alive as intelligence, as wisdom, but it's not holding on to ideas and stories. It's not holding on to anything. These words are the breath of life. They are the aliveness itself. They're not learned. They're not someone speaking. The deeper that you recognize the truth of who you are, you will realize this. You will see this. It will be so clear and obvious that there is no one here delivering a teaching. There is no one here that knows something. It looks like that, but that is not what's happening. You will feel your own heart, your own life force, exuberant and flowing. It's flowing in every cell of your being. It's flowing as the aliveness, as the awakeness. It's we could say the transmission of the self to itself. It is illuminating, it's purifying, it's pushing like a poultice, drawing all of the gunk to the surface. So it could bring aggravation, it could bring agitation, it could bring stresses forward, because this is what this flow of life is always doing. It's bringing forward exactly what is needed to carry you deeper into clear knowing. So wherever you receive this, receive it as the open being. Receive it without thought. Receive it without understanding. Receive the resonance and just be with what you notice. Welcome everything in the field equally, the whole field, all friends. Welcome friends. Welcome the friends that are God, all of these friends, all the divine. It's all that's here is love loving itself. Love in utter prostrating devotion to itself. You see, unconditional love, it bows to itself. It bows in utter devotion. That's its unconditional nature. It's not saying, you did this for me, so therefore I love you. You made me feel good, therefore I love you. You said something that resonates for me, therefore I love you. True love is so free. It's utterly in love with itself, and it is bowing in devotion to itself. You say something I don't like, I love you. I'm bowing to you, thank you. You said something that makes me feel frustrated and small, I love you, thank you. I'm bowing to you. It doesn't matter. Love just loves. It has no conditions. This is the true nature of who you are. This is what is happening here. This is what creation is. It's a love fest. Creation is a love fest. It's love loving itself, exuberantly loving itself, inviting you to the exuberant, pouring, upwelling, exhilarating, exuberant gorgeousness of the love that you are. To recognize where you recognize your own nature, however you recognize it, whether you feel the love swooning, the devotion, the surrender, whether you feel the stillness, the silence. It does not matter. Feel yourself, receive yourself. Come to the knowing that is now. Be here now. Be here now. Be one with your very own heart. Be the openness, the beauty, the effulgence, the shining effulgence of the God light that you are. Be that. Be that. Be that being. Be that one. Be that one. The glory, the shining glory that just is. So many words, so many words. And then silence.